I always knew one day that I would eventually leave everything behind and start a brand new life. Although I never thought that it would take this long, at almost 36 years old, that day is finally here.
I am so excited. I literally cannot believe that it's finally happening. I have dreamt of this day for literally like my entire life. I've always wanted to leave New York State, and ever since I was a teenager, I wanted to live in a van and travel around the country way before it was like a popular thing to do. I've always just wanted to be able to travel and have the freedom to go wherever I wanted, whenever I wanted, and now at 36 years old, it's finally happening. It is honestly so surreal to finally be closing out this chapter of my life and starting a brand new beginning. I moved back home in March of 2017, and honestly, I did not think I was going to be here for this long. My life essentially just kept falling apart every time I was trying to basically, rebuild and start over and start fresh again. But yeah, I'm like so grateful for the fact that I was able to move into this cabin and have this nice, safe, sanctuary space all to myself, to be able to pour back into myself, to work on myself, and to basically rebuild my life from the ground up in the privacy of my own little headquarters. And so I am just extremely grateful, because not only has it helped me to grow as a person, but it also simultaneously prepared me for van life. This cabin is only 200 square feet. As you can see, it doesn't have a kitchen or bathroom, most of which I just use the regular house for, or I just go outside if I need to go to the bathroom. But yeah, like, it's kind of wild to be where I am now and to be able to look back and recognize that every single thing that happened throughout my life was literally preparing me for this brand new beginning. And so I'm really excited to finally get my things moved out of here, pack my stuff up, and yeah, it's kind of insane, honestly. Thankfully, I don't have very much to pack. I actually sold and pawned most of my belongings over the last few years to prepare for this move, and I only have a few totes that I am packing into a storage unit, and the rest of my life is going into the van. So that's exciting.
No one actually knows that I'm moving out of here and into the van. I've learned over recent years that it's best to move in complete silence until your plans are executed and your manifestations are permanent. Back when I was a people-pleasing doormat, always seeking everyone's approval, I would constantly overshare my business with literally anyone who would listen. All that did was sabotage my plans before they had the chance to fully form. Whether it was people getting into my head and making me doubt my ideas, or people blatantly meddling with aspects of my life behind my back, every time I shared things that I was working on or the opportunities unfolding within my life, they would always wind up falling through at the last minute. I had to learn the hard way that most people aren't happy for you, especially people who are close to you and have become accustomed to you being in a certain position in life that they're comfortable with. It's really sad, because honestly, I'm the kind of person who wants to see everyone living their most happy, fulfilling, and abundant life. Even back when I was struggling to make ends meet for myself, I always celebrated other people's wins. But unfortunately, most people didn't want what was best for me. They wanted what was best for themselves. The only person I share my business with now is Cody, and that's because I know that I can trust him. He's my best friend and biggest supporter, and I'm just so grateful to start this brand new chapter of life with him. It's kind of bittersweet that I'm actually leaving this place. I always envisioned one day that my future children would run barefoot on this land just like I did when I was a kid and be able to show them all my favorite spots, but no family heirloom or amount of money or anything to that effect is enough for me to justify staying in contact with somebody who treated me like crap my entire life. And so I have spent the last few years really coming to terms with the fact that I will never step foot on this land again. Throughout my entire life, I've had to remain the smallest version of myself in order to survive in this environment. If you've watched my stories, then obviously you know that the people closest to me were actually enemies in disguise as family and friends. This may sound crazy, but I'm actually extremely grateful for all of the trauma and challenges that I've been through throughout my life. Otherwise, I would have had no reason to really swim through my emotional depths and really find who I am on a soul level and overcome all of these things and actually grow as a person. The person I am today is drastically different from the person I was back in 2016 when I first started going through my spiritual awakening. And it's really wild to look back and see how much work that I've done, and I'm just extremely proud and grateful to be where I am today. I honestly cannot wait to see who I become once I'm no longer living in survival mode and just get to thrive as my authentic self. And the only thing I'm taking with me moving forward from this place and from my past are the lessons. All right, so we are officially moved into the van and about to hit the road. Cody and I got the van back in June of 2023, and we worked on it for about 2 years, minus the winters. We actually documented the entire build, and we'll be sharing it in the near future, so keep your eyes peeled for that. But for now, let's go on an adventure. Cody's just paddling out there. Okay, so today is day 11 since moving into the van, and I can confidently say that this life is definitely for me. Just being connected to nature is extremely important to me. It's something that even in my day-to-day life when I was living in a stationary house, I was still making it a point to go outside as much as I possibly could throughout each day. And now I actually get to just mostly live outside. And so this is very much in alignment with just who I am as a person. I feel like society pressures us to make these extremely huge choices that are full of responsibility, whether it's having children, buying a house, going to college for some prestigious career. And that's totally fine if that's something that you genuinely want to be doing, then by all means, absolutely do it. But I feel like all of these specific life milestones are, in a way, it programs us to think that we need to check all these boxes in order to be deemed a worthy participant of society and of life. And I just personally don't agree with that. For me, I never felt called to go to college. I never felt called to hurry up and buy a house. I have not felt called yet to have children. I know that I want them in the future, but that's just not the chapter I'm in right now. Everyone's on their own unique journey, and my personal idea of success and happiness and fulfillment and abundance is going to look vastly different from everyone else's perception of those specific things. And so I just encourage you, if you feel called to live a life that might look a little bit different than what the people around you want or expect from you, you should go after the life that you feel called to do and not fall in line with what's expected of you. Because for me personally, I tried doing that so many times throughout my life, and it led me to being depressed and miserable, and honestly just in a lot of relationships and situations that did not serve me. And so at 36 years old, creating this life, in a sense, is a love letter to my inner child, who never had the opportunity to play and to be curious and to explore life to the fullest. And so that is my intention in this new season of my life, is to spend the next however many years exploring everything that life has to offer and everything that I feel genuinely called to do, and just see where the road takes me. If I could go back and tell my younger self anything that would have shaved years off of her struggles, it would be this. Decide exactly what kind of life that you want and say no to anything that doesn't align with your vision. Because in order to change, your new life is going to cost you your old one. No one is coming to save you. You are the person that you have been waiting for. Use your pain to motivate you into action and start recognizing challenges as opportunities to grow beyond your comfort zone instead of seeing them as obstacles and reasons to stop trying. Life isn't happening to you, it's happening for you. It's shaping you in ways beyond comprehension in order for you to become the version of yourself who can not only create the life of your dreams, but maintain it once everything falls into place. Stop waiting for permission and give that permission to yourself. And above all else, never give up. If you made it this far, I just want to say thank you for being here and for all of your support. I created this series with the intention to help those who see themselves within my story to heal from their painful past experiences and recognize that they have the ability to overcome anything that they set their mind to. Creating this series allowed me to give purpose to my pain, as I didn't have the necessary support to guide me through the many challenges and adversities that I faced throughout my life. Working on this project for the last 2 years has helped me to process the final layers of anger and resentment that I had towards those experiences, and I'm super grateful for reaching a place of peace within myself and finally closing the door to my past. My hope is that no matter who you are, where you came from, or what you've been through, this series, at the very least, made you feel like it was possible to create the life that you truly desire to live. Because if I can do it, so can you. Thank you so much for watching. I love you.